Stacking and trimming your dessert cakes can sometimes be a hassle. It took me so long to finally get it right, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to properly go about it. Let's get started. The first thing to do is to apply your frosting to your cake board. This is to secure your cake to the board and to basically prevent it from shifting or moving. I heard that a melted chocolate works pretty well for this, but I haven't tried it yet. If you'd like to see what it looks like, please drop in the comment section so that I would film it for you guys. The next thing to do is to place your cake at the center of the board. Please be sure to check all the sides so as to make sure that your cake is directly at the center. I mean, you don't want a slant cake, you don't want a cake bent to one side, so be sure to check that very well. Up next is to apply your frosting to each cake layer. You can also apply your cake fillings, your crushed Oreos, your crushed chocolate, your caramel filling, strawberry filling, whatever filling you have, you can apply to it at this stage. The client didn't request any extra fillings, so all I did was to apply my buttercream to the center of the cake and to spread. And yeah, we are basically doing this process for all the layers of your cake. Another thing I should have done was to trim the top of my cakes, especially the red velvet, because as you can see it has a dome, but I had equal sizes of my cake layers, and I didn't want any of the layers to be smaller than the other. After arranging each layer, all you have to do now is to set it and make sure that the sides are straight. After properly setting your cake layers, what you have to do now is to trim. I mean, you can already see me holding my serrated knife. I'd also like to point out that I don't always trim my cakes. The only reason I'm trimming this one is because the pan I used to bake my red velvet cake is already expanding and it caused the sides of my cake to bulge out. And as you can see, that's the only reason I'm focusing on the red velvet. It's the only layer that has bulgy sides, so yeah. Also, when you want to trim your cakes, please make sure to keep your serrated knife straight, and you also have to trim gently so you don't overcut your cake. I don't know if you noticed, but I was careful enough and I still cut a part of the first layer of my chocolate cake too much. So yeah, all you have to do now is to clear your cake board. Don't ask me where all that cake that I packed is going to. Definitely going to my mouth later when I'm done decorating the cake. Once you are satisfied with the result you have after trimming the cake, the next thing to do is to cover the sides of your cake in buttercream or in whipped cream, whatever frosting you're using. I have a large scoop on the top of the cake because I just didn't want to stress myself. I mean, it felt easier scooping it from the top than scooping it from a bowl. So what I'm basically doing is to scoop a little from the large scoop I have on the top of the cake and apply it to the sides. Spread like I'm spreading butter on bread, basically. I find this aspect of cake decorating very crucial because it helps you trap all the crumbs on the sides of your cake, and you know, by the time you are applying your final layer of frosting, you have a very neat cake. As I apply the buttercream to the sides of my cake, I also try to scrape off any excess I have before moving on to another layer. This is to avoid having excess buttercream on one side and having little on the other side. So all I'm doing is to spread the buttercream on the sides of the cake, scrape off any excess I have, apply on any side that doesn't have enough, and repeat the process. I love having a smooth finish on my crumb coated cake, and that's why I'm using this cake scraper slash cake comb to, you know, smoothing the sides of the cake. This process is absolutely not necessary, but I love to do it because it gives my cake that smooth and nice finish. Using a cake scraper to smoothing out the sides of your cake helps you scrape out any excess you might have on some sides, like I said earlier. And what I did here was to scoop out the excess I have on the cake scraper and apply on sides that didn't have enough. If you haven't subscribed at this point, I don't know what you're waiting for. So please click on that subscribe button, like this video if you really enjoyed it or you learned something new, and do not forget to turn on your post notification bell so that you get notified every single time I post a new video. To round off the cake, I'm just going to scoop out the excess I have on top of the cake. This is caused by the pressure you apply when you smoothen the sides. So I mean, it pushes up the excess buttercream. I'm basically just scooping it out with my palette knife. And yeah, that's the cake complete. Let me know if you learned a thing or two, or just, you know, drop a comment on whatever new thing you learned from my video today. If you also have any video you want me to film for you, please drop it in the comment section and I'll definitely look into it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.